Hello, and welcome to another week of the Abuse Cartoons live stream. So this is the last week before the Okinawa Comic-Con, and it's been really busy getting ready, but I figured I better get a live stream in. I don't want to miss a week for the patrons, so thank you very much for supporting this cartoon and this live stream, and that's why it's happening this week, because it's very busy. I'm getting the book number 3 for Citizen Spaceman to press, and if you follow my Instagram or the saw that pop up on the live stream, I've been doing Inktober this year for Citizen Spaceman like I did in 2017. So, so it's been a couple of years since the last Citizen Spaceman book, but I really enjoyed getting back into that story and continuing things. So hopefully number 4 will come a little faster. So 3 is written, and the art is finished, and I'm just I'm gonna need to lay in the translation, and then it's all done. So coming very soon. So I will keep you posted on social media for that. So this weekend I'm off to Okinawa to show some domestic abuse and show some Citizen Spaceman and some other little random things that I've worked on. So it should be fun. That's the first time I have done this con. It's the 3rd year that they're doing it, and unfortunately the first day of it it will be a typhoon hitting Okinawa, but I've been reassured that it's they're used to that kind of thing and it'll be nice and safe. So wish me luck, and I'm curious to see how it goes, because if it's like the Tokyo Comic-Con, they're marketing and advertising for people that are fans of Western comics, and this is not it's not Japanese in any way, and it's translated into Japanese, but it's not a superhero comic, or it doesn't have that Ameritrash kind of style to it. It's more kind of indie comic, more kind of art comic style. So it's a little bit confusing, I think, for people, because there's not a lot of that in Japan. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. And I'm just curious. I'm curious how things will be received. And it's a decent sized show. It's as big as some of the shows in Osaka. So I'm curious to see how that goes. But it's a traditional Western style Comic-Con, American style Comic-Con, with cosplay and panels and drawing, and there's an artist alley, and then as well as vendor booths and things. So I'm curious to see how all of that goes. So wish me luck in all of that. And I apologize for the failed live streams. I was having trouble with my internet connection, but I was trying to stream my Inktober drawing last week. I think it's on this channel. And I came up and was dropping 90% of the frames, and nothing was working particularly well, so I had to kind of bail out of that. I don't like the fact that there's no staging, there's no auditioning, you just go live with something. You can't go, kind of pre-live or local live, or just like have it hit the network and come back to you, but not be broadcasting to see how things are going. So people set up dummy accounts, they set up test accounts, I guess, like the more game companies and things that do professional streaming. So you have to have multiple streaming accounts so that you can go live onto an account for testing purposes. That seems like you could put that in the software, and I guess maybe because everyone's using open source free software that's why that doesn't exist. But it seems a little silly that you just go live and nobody can hear you, and you do an entire stream. I've already complained about this enough, but you do an entire stream and don't even know if people can hear you or not. I was interviewing someone on this stream, if you remember, and their voice was completely unheard. So I was talking to myself for a good 30 minutes. Yes, that kind of stuff is really stupid. The tools are just not quite there yet, but there's also all kinds of money and all kinds of people watching things, and they still have, unless you're going to go with $10,000 broadcast software, there's still not great options for kind of mid-level. I don't know. It just seems silly the way that it always does, the way that it's being done. Because the problem I think the internet has, and like Twitter's a great example of this, is people just create these platforms and they let things happen how they're going to happen and let people use it how they're going to use it, and they never quite get ahead of how the users are dealing with it. So the user experience and the interface and the software is always lagging behind, and they're always playing catch up, and then they're always sabotaging things, trying to figure out how to monetize it and make money and make advertisers happy and all that. So YouTube and I guess Twitch as well. I mean, all that is a great example of that. It's just like people, these companies that set these things up, and then they're just playing catch up, trying to figure out how people are using it and how how to make it more, user friendly or intuitive, or just how to make it more compatible and compatible with bandwidths and what people are capable of doing and what people want to do. Yeah, but it's very funny. It's just like as if they put all this telephone lines. They ran telephone lines all over a country, and then just let people sit on the line and tell stories to each other. Made like a party line radio show, and just oh, this is what people want to do with telephones. We thought maybe they would have short conversations with each other. Yeah, I don't know. And the changes that are made, and I've noticed this with games and everything, when they're trying to balance competitive games and stuff. It's always just the environment, the studio, the people that are making stuff. And I've seen some of this kind of firsthand, like hearing people talk about things. Because I heard back in the day, I heard a game developer saying Lego and Star Wars. Who wants that? And then that whole Lego everything kind of kicked off, and it was very funny to hear somebody just kind of trash that and say that's the worst idea I've ever heard. And obviously there's good crossover with those brands, and if it was up to that guy, he would never have made that a thing. And it's funny because the studio I heard that at was they had one original idea and did nothing but licensed IP games. So to have such strong opinions in their line of business is pretty funny. I guess they didn't have strong opinions when it came to signing contracts and collecting checks. But I don't know. So I'm going to just try to get some cartoons done for this week, so I can I'm way behind on the weekly Ida Red Hands editing. I got to do that sometime too, hopefully tomorrow. And then I go to record another one before I leave. That's the problem with weeklies. It comes up every damn week. So we'll see how that goes. But one of the things that we talked about on the last weekly was the Wendy's tabletop RPG. And yeah, I don't know. I think that's just such a waste of time and so stupid. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the thinking was for that. Obviously, someone was a fan and they convinced somebody that made some decisions that, this is a market, they eat junk food and then that's getting big, and look at Critical Role and blah, blah, blah. And so they got someone to approve it. Then they built this watered down D&D RPG with Frosties and Baconators, and just the stupidity of it is, you put some money behind a real game and it could be a thing, and then kind of kickstart the whole not related to the site, but kickstart the whole idea of brands sponsoring game systems and game companies, and that getting attention, because they were thinking right away, well, we're going to have to give money to somebody big like Critical Role to play our game. So there was immediately, after the announcement of this nonsense, a Critical Role live stream playing the Wendy's RPG. And that just seems to hurt everybody's credibility. I don't know how you survive that unscathed as far as like, so you'll just do anything then, won't you? Yeah. So, especially after, well, I mean, I say after too, because I think that's an important thing. After they got all that money for doing some animated series or something, it's like, you might want to protect that brand a little bit more, but I'm sure it was a big check. I'm sure Wendy's was coming through with the sponsorship money. Ugh. But yeah, that was just depressing because it's not even like, it wasn't even parody. I guess it's parody of fast food brand competitions. I don't know. I mean, there was nothing clever or interesting about it at all. It was just like taking all the menu items and copying and pasting them into the order of the French fries and whatever. And yeah, it wasn't even like cute. The theming was just kind of, I get it. Yeah, so it was a joke that lasts like 30 seconds, and then just like, wow, this is a thing. Because it was a 97-page book. The RPG that they released was a 97-page PDF that was lavishly illustrated and laid out just like a supplement from any of the big publishers. So it's very odd. Kind of reminds me of like when comedians do parody songs, but they can sing pretty well and the lyrics are actually kind of good. And they're not like a song parody, but like a sound alike or something. They're trying to make fun of a style of music and not a specific song, and they sound pretty good. And you realize, wow, they probably could have been a professional singer. And then it just kind of, the whole thing makes you sad because they probably are a frustrated singer that just ended up doing comedy or something, because they didn't get their break in that. And so that whole Wendy's thing, you just hear some frustrated designers and things like, I wish I could, work for Wizards of the Coast, but instead I freelance for Wendy's RPG. I don't know. It's just depressing seeing treasure chests, with the chicken nuggets and Wendy, like the redhead Wendy girl on the garments of paladins and sorcerers and things like that's not even cute. I mean, it's so I don't know. Yeah, and the fact that for it to happen, they had to include the frozen, never frozen, always fresh, whatever their weird slogans and taglines is like something that exists in this world. I mean, I don't know. When you're in distant third place or whatever they are, I don't know, maybe KFC's beating them, but and you're doing this random kind of stuff that you hope goes viral. Of course, a lot of, just on the stupid stuff that I read, a lot of people were talking about it, but there's nothing to say. The only thing is, and why. That's basically the range of of reactions. Yeah, I don't know. Very odd. It's just trash for the sake of making trash, just because they can, kind of thing, which is odd. They could also do a Wendy's Broadway musical. Yeah, they could do that, and just, their menu, just go down the menu and those would be the songs. Yeah, it's just okay. And yeah, that's very odd. So covering tabletop stuff on that podcast, that comes up, and immediately I'm like, ugh, we're going to be talking about this. And it's not even, the best thing to do is just ignore that. It's like, yeah, nice try. It's trying to get people's attention. But I think that does say how more mainstream things like Dungeons and Dragons have gotten, because a company like Wendy's, sees that as an audience that they could actually go after. And they're doing, Wizards of the Coast is actually doing the crossovers or co-branding, I think I was calling it before, with Stranger Things and now Rick and Morty. So, they're trying to kind of legitimize things because I think they're big enough or popular enough or, noticeable. Oh, make a new layer, maybe. Yeah, so it's very funny. And such a waste of everybody's time. But that seems to be what things have become. I mean, even like legitimate news, or what you used to consider legitimate news sources, are just so desperate for content that they're just talking about things that they wouldn't have even entertained before, and not fact checking, and getting a lot of random odd things that are just clickbait. And maybe as younger people move into what passes for journalism now, that's what they were raised on. That's what they even if they go to journalism school, they're going to kind of come out of there with some newer ideas about how to get attention, how to manipulate social media and things like that. Yeah, we should have known when there were kind of those early first attempts to do viral marketing for movies and things like, Blair Witch, or there's all kinds of I Love Bees or whatever, all that, trying to do guerrilla, really low cost social network, social media marketing. Should have known it was going to get ugly, and that if that was actually effective, that's what most things would become, especially for kind of just mainstream outlets that want attention. Ugh. There was a moment where we could have looked away. Oh, wait. I want to do... Come on. Yeah, this is all I want to do. Make this look like something that could be in here. All right. But yeah, it's nice to, as I was saying, the Citizen Spaceman was fun to work on again, and I just kind of got discouraged because of the reception, because I'm just trying to do some odd stuff with it, and I don't know, I don't have anybody reading it that was really giving me very encouraging feedback. So just like people were giving it to their kids or whatever, like, oh, okay, I'm not writing a children's book, but whatever, I guess if it's not blood and guts or has something sexual in it, then it must be for kids, right? We'll see how this looks. Oh, good. I'm so glad you're telling me that right now. I have an ancient video card in here, and it's ready for an update on the driver. Oi. All right. Well, nothing here is particularly inspiring me. Ooh. So let's just keep going here. Yeah, I was afraid this might be a slow stream, but thanks for joining me. And if this is your first time, or if you're watching this from the archives, welcome. And I try to do this every week, so this is a weekly thing that happens usually Sunday night, North American time, and that's in the afternoon. I'm very late Sunday night, I know, this week, but this was the only time, with all the stuff I had to do this week, this is the only time I could fit this in, so I apologize for being later than usual, but it's been a long week already. It's only Monday. But yeah, so looking forward to everything this week and seeing what the reaction is, although I'm kind of bracing myself for no reaction, because I think like an indie con or something a little more self-publishing indie focus would be a better place for my book, but that doesn't exist. I guess the Kaigai manga show is actually has some more indie stuff. And that's why I first got attention for this, but we'll see. Yeah, and I'm breaking the rule that I kind of learned early on. Is like, just stay out there, stay findable, stay where people can find you, just in case, there are people out looking for something. There are, reps from publishing companies or whatever. But I guess when I was doing shows for the gallery, that got really discouraging, because so many of the shows that we chose to do were zero business to business, and just kind of like, selling to customers, and Japanese customers are uniquely difficult to decode. They have very odd, super trendy and very easy to get excited about something, and very easy to get uninterested in something. They're very trendy. So you'll do one show and it'll be huge, and the next time people don't even blink an eye. Very odd feeling. Why is it so shaky? But I haven't had that much coffee, have I? It's maybe just something going on with the... yeah. Weird. Oh, I should separate these. Yeah, very odd. All right, something like this might work. Oh, that's on the... Great, I have to take this off again. I thought I was on a totally new layer, but no. Okay. Yeah, this is a little rough looking. Yeah, a little small and weird. I don't know what's going on with the line is looking terrible. Maybe flip that over. Okay, chocolate chip cookie dough, something like that. And let's see what we can do over here. Yeah, so I'm not sure. Probably after the show, there'll be time to do more Inktober streaming. And I'll probably try to continue some kind of inspirational drawings into book 4. Oh, sorry. So I can work on book 4 more immediately after the show. And of course, all of that is dependent on how discouraging this show was and how ignored I was in the little artist alley. Yeah, we'll see. But it wasn't an expensive show, so it's not going to be too much of a heartbreaker. The Tokyo Comic Con is going to be a real heartbreaker if you don't go in there, or if you don't come out of there very successful, because it's so expensive. And Tokyo is, well, I don't think Okinawa was any cheaper, but Tokyo is such an expensive city to stay in. Ha ha ha. All right. What's going on here? Yeah. A little slow. All right. All right, something like that. Yeah. So I've got an idea for that. So a little bit desolate cartoons, this time. Yeah, this one looks a little rough. And, yeah, the line, something was going on there. The line, maybe I'll try to clean this up a little bit. It's a little heavy-handed, I don't know. Strange. All right. Well, I guess that works. Okay, well, let's do some comments. So my graceless transition into the comments page here. Let's see how we did last week. Hey, all right. Okay. Oh, so, wait, maybe I should adjust the camera a little bit here. Am I falling off the bottom? Yeah, I'm just kind of tired, so I'm slouching a little bit more than usual, so. All right, so here we are with the, yeah, I'm looking this way. That looks weird. I should be looking this way. Whatever. Okay. So I'll try to read it off of this monitor. Maybe that'll help. So here's last week's buttermilk biscuit cartoon. So everything was better with a homemade buttermilk biscuit. Even divorce papers. Look at that. All right. So let's show all comments. And Ramen is, oh, as long as he gets custody of the butter. Nice. Oh, that's sad. And ramen is all he was able to afford for dinner. True. All right. So that was a liked one. I should go through. I wish I could index how many times people just said, oh, that's sad about this cartoon. Okay, here we go. So the other one last week for October 1st. Oh, yeah, the on the side, dressing on the side. The hardest part was teaching dressing to be served on the side. One comment, 5 likes. That's why I like salad bars. I eliminate the middleman. Nice. Am I logged in? Can I like this? Oh, like you like it here. There it is. Okay. Yeah, I just click on the heart, but that just reveals who likes what. All right. Now, do we dare do the random? Yeah, sure. Why not? See what kind of nonsense we can get into. So traveling back in time up to 18 years ago. Okay. So 2011. Oh, look how tiny. Some purchases were required. Some purchases required as inconspicuous a bag as possible. Ooh. So condoms and all those good things. Wow. 4 comments. Yikes. Makes me smile as I remember To Kill a Mockingbird. There's an old man who drinks something from a paper bag. Shocks everyone. It turns out to be just lemonade and water or something, or at least that's what he tells Scout. Okay. Just one comment? Yeah. No, 4. So is it a whole To Kill a Mockingbird? No, I gotta. There we go. What? Yeah, that's the usual response. Huh? Inconspicuous a bag as possible. I think the contents of the bag are different than saltwater taffy, the infamous old brown paper wrapper. What? Yes, like I've told many times, people get very angry when they don't understand my stupid jokes. I think that's very interesting. All right, providing that much unappreciated telephone assistance would make anyone suicidal. Got that right. All right, one more. One more. Here we go. Back in time again. Ooh, hot. Oh, this is a real oldie. Look how wonky it is. All right. There was no explanation for the air popper's newfound popularity. Yeah, it always seemed to come and go because the healthy oh, and nobody. That's an old one. Nobody's seeing it. I think that was a sticker or something when I first did shows with this. Sun Tea. When I first did shows. So this is a 12-year-old one. The planet's yellow sun had given him brewing abilities far beyond those of mortal man. It's a Superman reference, and nobody liked it. Oh, that was so small. Look at this little gotcha. Having a toy inside was both a blessing and a curse. No subject is too daring for the J-Man. Bravo, I like it. Yikes. Oh my goodness. All right, one more. Milk bread, help. He was certain his desperate plea had gone unnoticed. Poor marker on a string. What he thought was a new friend, it turned out to be just another mess. A birthday cake on the floor. This is a pretty recent one. Yeah, this is this year. I think we might have already done this. I'd like to know why the cake is on the floor or the Roomba is on the table. The 3-year-old had an awesome Lungsy blew it right on the floor. Roomba. Thanks for the heads up. I couldn't figure that one out. Well, they're not all easy to... Wow, they got 10 likes. Crazy. All right. Well, enough of that nonsense. Okay, so let's awkwardly shift back to drawing. Boom. Infinite. Who draw this? Ah, somebody's in the chat. So I'm drawing this. Oh yeah, I didn't. Oh, that's right. Yeah, here. Maybe this helps. Does this help? Boom. There we go. There's the title of the cartoon. Yeah, I think the last time somebody just dropped into the stream and was wondering what this was, and all they saw was domestic abuse. They got very upset and left. Yeah, in this day and age, I guess it's a triggering title. I guess everything about it is problematic, but it comes from a different time. Soon to be 20 years ago. Wow, it's about 17 years old now. Yeah, so this is just a weekly gag cartoon, kind of magazine style, just picture and joke underneath, that I've been doing since 2002, and just sticking to the gimmick of household kind of personified, or not personified, but that kind of anthropomorphized household products or household items, kind of living out our desperate little dramas. So let's color some of these, if I can stay on the correct layer, and see how it goes. Yeah, maybe a little richer color there. Let's try that. And I'm trying to think of... yeah, maybe I'll just do blue. That looks like a nice contrast. Oh. Well, thanks for joining me. Let me double check and see. I got to keep a better eye on that chat. There we go. Sorry. Boom. Yes. So this is the weekly live stream for Abuse Cartoons. So abusecartoons.com if you want to read. I guess gocomics.com. Abuse Cartoons is not an archive currently, but if you'd like to read like to go back and read some more of these, maybe here and probably that as well. Yeah, things are a little slow. All right. So yeah, like I was saying, I'll try to get back on after this weekend on the Inktober and post some things and try to do another live stream session now that I've figured out what my problem was with the settings and getting things to read. Actually, is the cookie dough a little dark? Yeah, I guess it reads okay. Actually, I think before it's cooked, it's not going to be that dark. It's quite yellow. Yeah, maybe more like that will work. Yeah, that looks better. All right. So, yeah, there we go. Maybe more red. Work. And a little yellow. Oh, and for the show I finally did, I should take a photo of it. I finally did the big vinyl roll-up banner. The one that's kind of in a, it looks like an old projector screen, and you pull it up and you got a little stick that you stand it up, so it's like 2 meters tall and like 85 centimeters wide. So I finally have some promotional material for myself. It's been a while. I haven't had that before. I've just been doing posters and things and just hanging things behind me. But this seemed pretty portable and kind of, worried that this is going to be a pretty mainstream show. That's kind of a pretty mainstream thing to do, is have the have your info big behind you. So decided to do that for the show, and then it will work for every show after that. So hopefully I can find more good places to exhibit, and it's very strong and waterproof and all that good stuff, so it should last a while unless I do something stupid with it. And I've been using, wow, that's crazy, been using the same promotional images for a while, so that works. All right. Something like that. Whoa. There we go. I think I need to, yeah, this helps lighten. They're looking a little dark and flat, so a little of that, and maybe even a little of this will help and make the dough a little lighter. Yeah, I've done this a little bit excessively recently. There we go. Well, it looks better now that it's colored. The original drawing was not looking great. It was a little depressing, but that looks better colored, as it usually does. All right, so let's try some. Wow, we're really big here. Make sure the eyes are nice and visible. All right, so I gotta find some good wording for this joke, because I don't know if it's gonna land otherwise. And that's kind of an old thing. I don't even know if it is a thing anymore. Constantly dating myself. All right. And these guys. So maybe some strong red. But then a lot of other. Whoops. There we go. I have other colors. Here we go. Maybe some yellow. Nice and bright. All right, and I think I should do, just to make it clear, Oh, hello. What's going on? That didn't seem to work. Let's hold on for a second and see if Photoshop's going to catch up with us here. Okay, there we go. 12? There we go. Wow, that was slow. I've got Illustrator open, so my elderly computer doesn't like having to deal with this kind of stuff. Well, hopefully it's not going to crash. Oh, but yeah, if this is the first time finding the stream, thank you for joining me. And the archive, both on Twitch and YouTube, is there. So about 2 years of this nonsense, just drawing and talking, and it ranges from all kinds of uncomfortable topics and moods and things, and I even started off putting the microphone behind my head, which was a really great approach for streaming. Because if you want to hear the air conditioning in the room very clearly, that's definitely the perfect position for the microphone. Yeah, I'm surprised. The camera I'm using now is just the standard, the Logitech. What is that? That series? Just their HD series, the one with the little speaker-looking grills on the side, the kind of horizontal microphone with the little lens in the middle. But I am surprised this low light. I mean, I'm basically sitting here in the dark. The rest of the office is lit, but my little corner here is dark, and you could not tell that from the there we go. So you could not tell that from what you see here, which is pretty amazing. On stream, it looks like I've got bright light pouring in overhead. But I also think that if I'm zoomed in, like when we'll do the convenience store stuff, when I'm zoomed in, you can really see it's a little grainy, like the camera is working kind of hard to pull this image out of the dim light. But it's working okay for now. This is a small enough window. I don't think you need to see anything too beautiful. I mostly just want to make sure you can see Photoshop. All right. Well, thank you. I can't even see the chat. I have definitely got to reposition some of this stuff. There we go. All right, so while we're waiting for Photoshop to kind of catch up, let's see if I can get this to open. My little graphic up. I hope that explained a little bit more what this is, because I guess people do come in to, I guess that was on Twitch stream. People do come into this stream, just based on keywords or whatever, if it gets recommended as something that's live. So this is just a drawing, chatting of the weekly cartoon, and waiting for Photoshop to do what it's gonna do. That's my favorite part. And if you go back a couple of months, you can find my Photoshop crashing 12 times live stream. That was the best. Yeah, that was amazing. I should have just dropped the stream, restarted everything, but yeah, I was already so far into it. It was just getting funny the longer that it stopped working. And those cartoons are, at least the one cartoon, because I think it kind of settled down after I finished the first cartoon. But line crash, fill, crash. So I had to do something, save, and then it would crash. That was fun. It's even more fun waiting for this. All right. Well, we may have to just switch over to the convenience store segment while this is sorting itself out. Oh, okay. It didn't like the size, or what's going on here? Okay, that was weird. Okay, let's make this large enough, and there we go. I guess that wasn't big enough. Okay, so let's just rasterize both of these so that we don't have to deal with them anymore. Okay. All right. And I'll just distort this into, maybe I should have shrunk it down first, but we'll see. Okay. Not too weirdly distorted. Okay, and then just take both of these down. All right, and maybe some more. Different. Come on. Why am I selecting two? Okay, there we go. Yes. Okay. Oh, their style. Nice. All right. E is erase. Oh, I'm on the color layer. Oh, great. Okay, I thought I was making a new layer, but no. Okay. Something like that. Yeah, I guess I did everything on the layer. Great. It's better to work on multiple layers, but not for this one. Oh, yeah, and I used to talk a lot more about what I was doing in Photoshop, or, you know, kind of dealing with shows and creative things and all of that. So please let me know if that would be something interesting that you would like to hear about. Oh, weird. When you write into the chat, it does like multiple... I guess because it's trying to talk to all the different... Yeah, that's weird. Yeah. So, Orikoleko, thank you for dropping in on the stream, and if you're still here, thank you for watching. And yeah, please feel free to ask me anything, and I will try to catch that in the chat. So yeah, I draw this. Me, so I put my name back up there. Yeah, that's a real obstacle to success, I think, not being a big fan of your name, because if you have to, come on, you have to promote yourself, and you don't like saying your name, or you don't like particularly seeing your name in print. That's a really weird thing. I've got such a clumsy name that doesn't have any like balance to it. And I notice when people introduce themselves on stage, or have their names in print for certain reasons, it's and that's why they're stage names, I think. But recently people have been kind of defying that and having real, trying to make some really clumsy, hard to say names, or not pleasant names, as to kind of fight against that. All right, but yeah, I've never particularly liked the odd combination of shortened English and that American chopped off foreign name and silly first name that my name is, but I wasn't of the generation where we were giving ourselves weird pen names quite yet. A little too old for that. Yeah, the internet really made that a thing, but it seems so, unless you're protecting another career or your work in the priesthood or whatever reason you would have for not going by your real name, it seems ridiculous, because then all of your accomplishments are credited to some fictional character that anybody could assume they are. And it just seems like a waste if you're going to do anything to not put your name on it. Although, I've definitely worked with people that have, oh, that's a good little mouth there. Maybe I'll keep that red stuff they've worked on, and felt that it, limited them from other work, but it doesn't even really matter anymore. People just go after everything, so the chance of doing any sort of controversial work and then surviving that is not very likely anymore. Ugh, what's going on? Here we go. I don't know which way to go with this now. Now I'm thinking about the pack of 12 or pack of 11. So either they're happy to be 11 without him, but maybe then I should have shown the box open, missing one, or that there was no way they could ever become a pack of 13. That's a much more efficient joke, so maybe I'll go with that. All right. Well, I've gotten this far, and let's do the convenience store take. My coffee's already cold, so that's not going to be all that exciting. All right, so let's switch over to that before we finish the writing. All right. And for those of you new, this is a little segment in the middle of the stream. Because I'm based in Japan, I just stop at the convenience store before the live stream and try to find something interesting to talk about, some little history, some kind of classic food, or just something funny and trendy that's around in the convenience stores in Japan. And that little chime you heard is, I'm forgetting the history about that. I think it was written by Panasonic. So it's a doorbell chime that was kind of a classic Showa electronic doorbell chime that was actually written by a composer, and Family Mart adopted that because it's a kind of welcoming, familiar, happy sound, and I think Family Mart adopted that too, as their, or maybe just they just bought that doorbell and just used the motion sensor, and so when you come into Family Mart, you hear that sound, and that notifies the staff that there's somebody in the shop, because they keep them very busy. If you ever notice the staff at convenience stores in Japan, they're not just standing around waiting for stuff to happen. There's a million things that they are always, whether it's restocking or paperwork, or because they do so many things that aren't just sales in Japanese convenience stores. There's you can pay bills, you can buy concert tickets, you can receive Amazon or other delivery packages. Lots of stuff for them to do, which is interesting that they're training immigrant workers to actually do that. Okay, so enough of that. This week, I introduced to you Oshiri Tante. Oshiri Tante, which you may have already seen before, is a character that was originally a children's book, and now he's an anime, and I think soon to be a movie, if not already. There will be a summer movie. And as you can see, he is a young boy, a boy detective, with a butt for a face. Because Japan loves its fart and just basically toilet humor in general. They're a big fan of it, especially kids. Another character, so he there's all kinds of like little fart joke innuendos, and everything starts as poop poop, like the fart sound in Japanese, and things like little type jokes. And I think maybe this might be added from some English translations, but like getting to the bottom of things, or I can smell something's wrong here. Yeah. So a bunch of cute little animals and a little butt-faced boy detective. So that's just the branding of these Tohato sweet potato crisps. But as you can see from the packaging, they are shaped like his little butt head. So I'm going to eat little sweet potato butt crackers. Is there anything else on the back? Nope, but it's branded. It's a Bandai. Yeah, Bandai, I guess, owns the character. And it also is showing... What studio is that? Yeah. But animation studio also has its hand in it that isn't Bandai. I don't know. Who is that? Toei? I can't remember the cat. But here we go. Let's see how these are. So that they are. Little butt shape. Are they crackers? Yeah, they're not. They're sweet potato, but they're not sweet. Yeah, sweet potato flavored, but not, I mean, sweet as a sweet potato, but not like extra sugary or anything. They're just kind of like puffed rice. Sweet potato flavored kind of puffed rice crackers. Or like the caramel guys. The corn, puffed corn. Oh, maybe these are corn. Yeah, they're not rice, they're corn. Yeah. They're puffed corn, so like corn puffs, like that cereal. A little firmer than that. But Japanese sweet potato flavored, which is not a bad flavor. Potatoes are naturally sweet, just like slightly sweet. So when you do the yakiniku, like the grilled meat or any kind of, the sweet potatoes are really nice. Additional flavor in there because it's just a little bit sweet, but still very, potatoey. So, this amazing character they started publishing him in 2012. And like I said, it was originally a series of children's books, and kids thought that was so hysterical, so then it became an anime. And soon movies, and kind of followed, just previous to that, there was a professor, like the poop emoji, that's a very standard unko image in Japan. So there was a kanji drill book that was the professor, I forget what it was called, but it was like Professor Unko or something, like the poop teacher that teaches you, the little poop professor that teaches you kanji. And so that was popular, and so maybe they figured, hey, why not give it a shot with a boy detective? So he farts in the faces of all his suspects, so there's always going to be a fart scene in the story because he's like a little Sherlock Holmes kind of Detective Conan kind of character, and he solves the crime, solves the mystery, finds the culprit, and farts in his face with the help of cute little animals. So I'm glad the little sweets were only sweet potato flavored and not trying to simulate anything else. But yeah, Pupu and the snack. Yeah, Pupu is his thing. So this is a Pupu snack. Delicious. At least it doesn't have any flavoring of that. But so that's Oshiri Tante, the butt detective, little boy detective, backside boy detective. I don't know how they would translate it, or if they've translated it to English. But there he is. And so you can just go to, I think, oshiri-tante.com if you want to see the Japanese website with all the little information about his movies and everything, and see him drinking tea with the steam like rising up between his little butt crack face. It's just darling. But so that's another one of those uniquely Japanese things that kids are entertained by and parents just tolerate, I guess. I don't know why that's always the way. But yeah, so that'll be our convenience store segment, the introduction of Oshiri Tante. So back to the drawing. Okay, so this one I thought was going to have to be careful. Yeah, I'm really low on memory. This one I'll have to be careful writing because I want it to be kind of romantic and grand, but not too confusing. All right. Okay, so once they gave up on a more romantic language, but once they forsook the forsaking. No, I don't want to have that too confusing. Okay. For cookie dough. And a spoon only. All right, cookie dough and a spoon only found true love once they abandoned the baking process. The unnecessary. Should I say raw cookie dough? Yeah, it'll come across. So cookie dough and a spoon. The spoon? Maybe the spoon sounds better. Jeez, come on. Only found true love once they abandoned the baking process. The spoon and cookie dough only found true love once they abandoned the baking process. I think that's close enough. I want it to be a little bit bigger and more romantic, but true love is good enough. The spoon and cookie dough only found true love once they abandoned the baking process. All right. And this little guy. Yeah, that it clicked but right before I switched to the convenience store segment, the little idea clicked, and now I don't have it as completely. I should always write that stuff down, even if it kind of spoils the live stream process. Yes, I'm getting a little chat. Yes, yeah, living in Japan. So that's why the timing for my live stream is so odd, especially for North Americans, is because I'm living in Japan, and that's why I bring things from Japanese convenience stores to the little segment here. And that's also why some of the objects in this cartoon look more Japanese than they look like they're from any other country, because the familiar things around me, like things all coming in like kind of medical looking containers. This is actually candy, but it looks like it should be some stomach medicine or something. Why that's become my normal thing. So so I've been in Japan for about 10 years now, and it was a weird transition for doing this cartoon, because this was very American-based, American humor. There was a lot of pop culture references in this cartoon, and then once I shifted to Japan, I did some kind of culture clash, or kind of weird culture, homesick, or kind of culture difference jokes, and then kind of settled into Japanese things being more normal. So it changed the maybe look and feel of some of the objects. But I think, like I talked about before, I really like the nostalgia of trying to remember what things looked like. And so it's not always very accurate when I draw labels or packages or things, but it's the kind of stuff that I remembered from my childhood. And so it's like my American kind of Midwestern childhood, where a lot of that stuff comes from. Oh, nice. Oh, sorry. Yes. Great. Well, a viewer from Taiwan, so that makes sense. So hello, Taiwan. And yes, so this is, the English is not easy, and maybe I'm doing kind of normal speed, natural speed native English, so it's not easy to follow for second language English speakers. But welcome, and thanks for watching. So I've been drawing this cartoon for a while, and thank you for watching. And I hope to, being in Japan, I hope to visit Taiwan. That's a very popular place to visit. Taiwan is well known for its delicious food, so a lot of people from Japan like to visit Taiwan, and I think they have a nice relationship between the two. I mean, not great history, but the current relationship is nice, and I've heard Taiwan is a very delicious place to visit. All right. So I'm trying to talk about the 13 pack. Yes, I like Japanese cartoons very much, although I don't draw anything in the Japanese style. I've noticed a lot of people that like, especially more recently, that like Japan, start to draw in the more manga, anime, Japanese style. A lot of character art that I see for like tabletop RPG characters, like Dungeons and Dragons characters and things, look very kind of girls manga style, so like a gentle, sweet, kind of cute style. And I don't really draw that way, although I do like those stories, and a lot of those characters are very interesting. I don't draw that way, but Japan has the output of comics here is just insane. The amount of characters, new characters and new series that come out is just impossible to imagine any other industry kind of creating so much. And I've heard it's not a great life to be a creator working in like anime studios or producing manga. The workload is pretty strenuous, but it's amazing. I mean, it's quite a huge production, and I think a lot of the Western world is in love now with anime and manga. But it's very fun. So in Japan for about 10 years now. So before that, I lived 10 years in Los Angeles. So there was a lot of Japanese things and a lot of Japanese people in Los Angeles. So I, compared to living on the East Coast, I was much more exposed to Asia. So that made me much more interested in Asia and Asian things. And then moving here was a big change, but it is very comfortable. It's a very nice place to live. And I think the world is figuring that out, because now the tourism in Japan is just crazy. So a lot of people are happy to visit Japan, and because it's clean and safe and kind of easy to get around. And they're trying to make it a little bit more friendly for foreigners by everything being multilingual. There's Korean and Chinese and English everywhere now. So no matter where you're from, you can understand something. Yes. So I function in Japanese. I have survival functional Japanese. I don't need Japanese for my work, because I still mostly work for American companies, doing cartooning and things. But when I deal with customers, and things for like shows like the Comic-Con, there'll be a mix of Japanese and English or American, like specifically American military attendees at the Okinawa Comic-Con, so I'll kind of have to switch back and forth. But but for this stream, it's just English only. I marked it as English and Twitch, so we'll stick there. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. And of course, I should imagine that there'll be more people in Asia able to watch this because of the timing. Because right now, I think everyone in the Western world is sleeping. All right, so let me see. My 13-pack joke. Maybe the harsh reality? Of never being part of a 13-pack. Not finally. $13-pack. Yeah, so originally the idea was that he was going to have come from here and couldn't go back. Maybe that still works. Oh, so my work, so I do illustration and character design and mobile game characters and artwork for mostly American companies, some European, mostly American companies. But yeah, I just do a lot of drawing and animation, and that's what I did in the U.S. when I came from Los Angeles. And I do some teaching here in Japan, some cafe lessons, just because it's nice to kind of keep in touch and be able to network a little bit in Japan, because a lot of my students, because they're all like professionals, they're all either university students or working professionals, and that helps to network in Japan to kind of get things and meet people, because I also run an art gallery. So the art gallery has a lot of Western artists, and we just show art that hasn't really been seen in Japan before by popular artists, and mostly people that attend Comic-Cons and are in artist alleys in American and European shows. So show their work in Japan, although we haven't done many shows as the gallery recently. I've mostly been focusing on my own work, producing my own comics, and then the podcast, the gaming podcast. So that's been my main motivation recently. So 13-pack. Trying to joke. Yes. So freelance artwork for different companies. So illustrations, mobile game. There's always a big need for kind of mobile game, and they hire a lot of contractors. So I just do freelance for a lot of English-speaking companies abroad, because it's hard work. The pay is very low, and the amount of work, because the pay is low, the amount of work that you have to do to work specifically for Japanese companies is just ridiculous. It's much easier to be a visual artist or an illustrator and work creatively in other countries, because Japan just doesn't reward it very well. The pay is very low, and the cost of living, of course, in Japan is very high. So it's better to kind of rely on connections and people that I've worked for in Los Angeles to work instead of looking for work in Japan. I have done some character creation and done mascots and things for Japanese ice cream shops, and for an Italian restaurant I did a little like Italian chef character. So I've done some character work here in Japan, because my work is so different from what you would find from Japanese illustrators that some people are attracted to that. But the pay is so low. It's really ridiculous. So it's hard to make a living that way unless you have a lot of customers. And but there's a lot of talented people, a lot of talented illustrators working in Japan. So the competition is high, and maybe that is also what's keeping the price very low, because I don't think there's a lot of respect for creative work in Japan. It's just fun. You're not working, so it's not compensated as well as, accountancy or, middle management or, working at companies is in Japan. Oh yeah, the only my portfolio is very out of date right now. I'm trying to think of the best source. Yeah, I don't really have a portfolio online right now. I should put something together, but it's a pretty big variety of just kind of random cutesy things. Yeah, I should put that together, because I should look for some expand my client base a little bit. But so please contact me. I can send you a link if you'd like to see some of the kind of game characters and stuff that I've done. It's pretty standard stuff. A lot of it is more, kids stuff, more cutesy kind of kid stuff, although this is a little kid looking too. But I can show you that work as well. Or you can just search my name, Jeremy Lambros, and I think my website will come up. I think it's like a Flash-based. Oof, that's how out of date it is. Like a Flash-based portfolio, but there's some work there. I did a cartoon for the Disney comics, and some other some comics work, and then some just like individual character work. But nice. All right. Well, let me finish writing this. How long are we doing here? All right. So, okay. So maybe that I'm not gonna work here. Yeah, so the joke was to be included or be part of something that there wasn't room for. Harsh reality. Oh, shoot. Yeah, I wish I would have written down that initial thought, because I thought it was better than there being a hole or something missing in this pack here. Let me see. Being part of... Shoot, yeah, I'm totally off that original idea. Shoot, yeah, that was a really short thought too. Yeah, there are. Oh, yeah, there are certainly a lot of YouTubers in Japan. That's true. When you click on the trending tab for Japanese YouTube. Yeah, it's insane. I think because a lot of people, are kind of, there's still a lot of people that live at home very late, so they don't have to pay rent or they don't have any bills to pay because they live at home until they get married. And if they get married very late, they're, in their 30s and still at home. So that makes being a YouTuber, you can just follow your hobby and your interest very easily. And and also there's a lot of good quality technology for, cameras and recording microphones and things for streaming that are very affordable in Japan. So a lot of Japanese YouTubers, and also the TikTok and things. There's a lot of kids on the little short video apps as well in Japan. All right. So, yeah, they seemed become a 13-pack just for him. Something short, close to this idea. So they seemed unwilling to become a 13-pack just for him. Unwilling. They seemed unwilling to become a 13-pack just for him. Yeah. Oh yeah, Live 2D. Yeah, I've seen a lot of that. Yeah, a lot of that work. Now, you haven't done any animation with that, but I've seen that's been used in game animation as well, especially for promotional things. But Live 2D is pretty amazing. Oh, nice. So, YouTuber named No. Huh. I'll have to look that up. I don't know. No on YouTube. Yeah, I don't watch a lot of Japanese YouTube. My daughter watches some game streamers, but I haven't seen a lot. A 13. Oh. Huh. I think that's as good as that's going to get for that joke. It's short. So that is a big advantage. I don't want to have to explain too much of it. So they seemed unwilling to become a 13-pack just for him. The spoon and the cookie dough found true love once they abandoned the baking process. All right. Nice. Well, thank you for joining me, and thank you so much for my Taiwanese viewer. I appreciate you taking the time and watching. And please stop by again next week and tell me about something more about Taiwan, about what you're doing. So you learned a little bit of what I'm doing here, but if you are doing animation or artwork yourself, maybe you're looking at this and wondering, what in the world am I doing? But this is actually a syndicated weekly cartoon. So you can find this cartoon on gocomics.com/domestic-abuse. And you can also find the previous streams on both Twitch and YouTube. And if you'd like to follow this cartoon, it's at Abuse Cartoons on Twitter. And there's also the Instagram. If you want to take a look at my Instagram, so it's just my name, Jeremy Lambros. On Instagram, no dots or hyphens or anything, just one word. You can see the Inktober, the daily Inktober entries, and some Citizen Spaceman work. And I hopefully will be doing some more Citizen Spaceman Inktober work as both a live stream and then, of course, every day on Instagram. So check out the hashtag Inktober or Inktober 2019. And if you'd like to get involved in this cartoon and get a signed book or some original art or something from this series, please visit patreon.com/abusecartoons and get involved. There's some great things, and it helps make this cartoon happen more often, the live streams longer and more frequent, and I really appreciate all the support from the existing patrons. So thank you very much for supporting this cartoon and making this live stream possible. So I will be back next week after Okinawa Comic-Con, so maybe I'll have a lot to talk about after Okinawa and let you know how things went, how mainstream it is, and how the crowd received Citizen Space Man. So be sure to stop by next week for that, and thank you so much for watching. I will be back again next week. So that's all for this week. Thanks again. Goodbye.